Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on JavaScript variables. And right now we'll be discussing about the variables in details, all the things you have to know about variables, the rules and regulations concerning JavaScript variables. So let's get started. JavaScript variable, there are 4 ways we can declare JavaScript variables. We can use var, let, const, or we can use nothing. That is, var, let, and const, they are just keywords you can use for security reasons and for some other advanced benefits. So you can use it, or you can declare your variable without specifying nothing out of all this. So I'm going to be showing you how this. I've discussed about all this in our previous tutorial, but I'm still going to touch base some things that I haven't discussed about before. So the rules and regulations to JavaScript variables is what we are talking about right now. So what are variables? Variables are containers for storing data values. It's not just ordinary data, we are storing data values. So in this example, x, y, z are variables declared with the var keywords. As you can see, var x is equal to, you understand, var y is equal to var x, var z is equal to x plus y. In this example, x, y, and z are variables declared with let keyword. Right here, as you can see, we are having let keyword, and this one at the top is declared by using var keywords. In this example also, x, y, and z are undeclared variables, like this 1, 2, 3. As you can see, this one, they are not having any keywords behind them. That's why we call them undeclared variables. But these ones, they are declared. They are the variables that we have declared. But undeclared variables are these also. But there's another way you can understand undeclared variables also. When I got to it, I'll be showing you guys. So from all the examples above, you can guess that x stores the value of 5, y stores the value of 6, z stores the value of 11. So as you can see, in all this, 6 plus 5 is 11. That's why z is storing value of 11. You understand? The same way it goes here also, value of 11. But don't forget, this one is undeclared variable, and this one right here, because it's having keywords behind it, like this var. That's what makes it a declared variables. But this one without any keywords behind them, they are undeclared variables, as they call them. I'm still going to show you an aspect of undeclared variable later. So when to use JavaScript var, always declare JavaScript variables with var, let, or const. The var keyword is used in all JavaScript code from 1995 to 2015. The let and const keywords were added to JavaScript in 2015. If you want code to run in older browsers, you must use var, because older browsers use var keywords. So that is to declare your variables and using and supports older browser, you can use var. So if you don't want to support older browsers, we can use let or const. And again, let's get to another way when to use JavaScript const. If you want a general rule, always declare variables with const. That is, we want a general rule that, like maybe you assign a value to this price now, and this is the value you want everywhere they call this price to be. Let's say they called price now, the price should be 5. They call price now, the price 2 right here, the price should be 6. I'm going to be showing you how this works together. If you want a general rule, always declare variables with const. If you think the value of the variable can change, use let. In this example, price 1, price 2, and total are variables. So I'm going to show you how all this works now, so you guys can be able to understand. Back to our document. This is our document. I'm having this previously. This is our I've discussed about this previously, but I want to remove all this so we can generate new stuffs. Now let's create our HTML. Let's generate HTML tag. So inside here, I want to create JavaScript and I want to output something. Let me just output it using h1 tag so that it can boot. And I want to give it ID of demo. I don't want to waste our time at all, so that we can do something nice. So what I want to do now is I need a script. So this script, I want it to have something. The code I want to have is document dot get element by id, of what? ID of demo. This ID right here is what I want to link my JavaScript to. So I will just say dot inner HTML, and always be watchful of the errors, so you understand, because I want to use a variable level, so I want to just assign x right here. So at the top right here, how to create a variable, and I want to show you how to create a variable again. Once again, we have discussed about variables previously, but right now again, just watch me and be careful when you are seeing the way I'm writing things. So right here, I'm trying to output the variable, but I've not declared the variable yet. So to declare a variable, they say that if you want to declare a variable, you can use var keyword, as in var x. You understand? Or you can use let keyword. You can use let's just use let x. I want you to notice something here, and again we can use const x. When we are using const x, we have to specify the value immediately. That is, const x is equal to 5. So I want you to notice one thing. When I save my document now and display, let's see what we have. Can you see? We don't see anything. The reason why we don't see anything now is because we have encountered an error. The error is not something you shouldn't fix. You must fix it. That's why, because let right here, let don't allow you to reassign value to its variable. That's why this 5 right here is not displayed. When I comment out this let, now let's save our document and reload, we don't see anything. And again, why are we not seeing anything? Where the error may be, the error may be right here also. You should come inside this place, this inner HTML right here, you can just change it to inner HTML in small letter, HTML in small letter, and save your document again. Let's reload. Can you see? We are not able to see the variable again. Which error again may occur? Let's check our code very well. We are telling our JavaScript that is get element by ID of demo, and this is the demo, right? And we are saying inner HTML x. But why is it not picking? It is because const also don't allow us to assign value to its variable again, like to redeclare its variable anywhere in our code. You understand? Definitely we have to comment out this var also. So when we comment out this var, we should see our 5 right here. We should see our answer. Now let's reload our document. Wow, the same thing occurs. Then what can now be the problem? Because we have declared these different ways, and we notice that we don't later got an answer. We can try this in another way again. Let's change this back to capital letter HTML and save our document and reload. Can you now see? Now we are having our 5. So there is different ways you can encounter errors in your JavaScript. So you need to know and be aware of what you are doing. If not, you are going to mess up your code and you will have serious headache. Back to our code again. The first error you should be aware of is that this const variable right here doesn't allow you to redeclare its variable. That is, when we are giving it var, like we are giving a var right here, and we save our document and reload. Can you see? We are not able to see our const variable value again because we have redeclared this const. It's not because of var. Var if you use var keyword, you can redeclare its variable. That is, when we use var inside this place now, we can redeclare it. I want you guys to be active and be attentive. When I save this now, we can see the x. Can you see? We are able to see it. But if it's const we use right here, const is powerful than var. That's what they are telling you right here. So when we reload, definitely this must not be assigned. This x right here must not be assigned to any variable, only except you want to use only const. So only const want to have its name by itself. You don't want it to share the name with anybody. That's what is going on right here. And the same thing goes with this let variable right here. So I'm going to be showing you the errors you may encounter, the rules you have to follow. So, and again, let's comment it out. Let's now say this x right here, this let is where we want to have our, let's say 6. We save it, we save it as 6. Let's reload. You will see that there is an error. Can you see? We don't see our variables because our computer is saying that you have declared x here. I don't want. Is either you should choose one, maybe it's this one you want, or is this x here, or is this x. You must know what you are doing. Maybe let's comment out this one now. If we comment out this one, definitely let should let us see its variable, but unfortunately let will not let us see this 6. I'll tell you the reason. Let's reload. Can you see? Let don't let us see the 6. The reason why let don't allow us is because let also works like const. Let don't allow us to redeclare its variable. This name is only meant for let, and it never allows us to redeclare it anywhere, even if you are using let. Let's say for instance I change this var now to let. When I save my document now, can you see we are seeing the error immediately? Can you see? It's not going to show. So, and again, so the main thing we have to do is that you have to comment out this one. When we comment out this one, definitely we are going to see our 6. Can you see when I reload? Now I'm seeing the 6. You have to note that. So that is to say, let and const, they work in some ways that they don't allow us to redeclare their variables. But if it's var we want to use, let me comment out. Let me leave this one now. Let's say I uncomment this and I say x right here. I just change this one to, instead of, if it's let's reload first, it's not going to show our value. Can you see? But if it is var, it's going to show the value. It's going to show the value when I reload. Can you see? var show the value. So because we are using the var and we are still assigning, even if we don't assign var self, if you want to show the value like this, it's still going to allow you. So that is the main thing you have to note. But if it's let, let's say we declare variable right here, we say let right here, let right here. Now say let x. We don't redeclare a variable when it's concerned let and const, because what they mean by declaration of a variable is when you write this keyword and assign a value to it, that is, you have declared a variable. So this value you declare right here now is either you redeclare it or you give it value immediately, or let's say for instance now we delete this let. Now when we delete the let and save our document and reload, we should see our value, as you can see. But if you don't delete the let, you want your things to work with let don't allow you to redeclare. Never. It's just like let's say now we have declared x right here. So definitely if you are trying to use let, it's better maybe you don't want to use let at all. You understand? Just declare your variable like this. Definitely your sys is going to display. Can you see? Now it's display. But if you are saying you want to follow the let rules and regulations, let never allow you to redeclare the variable. Now let's say we want to use let. Can you see? It shows an error immediately, as you can see. When we save our document and we try to reload now, can you see? Problem occurs. So you have to be aware of the rules and regulations of declaring variables in JavaScript. The same thing goes with const. If you try to do that also with const will give you problem also. So I've discussed about this also. Let's use const. Can you see const don't even allow you at all? Const, can you see the same thing? We are seeing the error when we save it is an error. Can you see we are unable to see anything? So, and the funniest part is that const, when we declare a variable like this in const, it must be assign a value. You must assign a value to it immediately, like 6, like this immediately. It doesn't allow you to come down here. So like this, now we are having 6, we are having let's say like this, now we are having 6 right here. We say const x, you understand? We say const x is equal to x is equal to 6 right here. When we save our document and reload, when I reload, can you see there is a problem? But if it's let we use in this manner, let is going to work. When I save let in this manner, let, that is the main difference between them. Can you see? Let us reassign value. Can you see? We are able to reassign value to let variables. But if it is const, let's say const, if it's const will never allow you to reassign value. Can you see? This x, we have declared the variable right here, and we are trying to initialize the variable. We are trying to assign a value to it. Can you see right here? It's showing us error because we are using const. But if it's let you are using, let me change it back to let. Let me delete all this so you won't get confused. Let me change this back like this now, because we are assigning value. We have declared the const right here, and we don't, for us to show this 6 value, we must come to this place and assign the 6 value in this same line here. That is the const rules and regulations when we display. Can you see? But let's say you want to reassign the value later, it will never allow you. Like you firstly declare the variable, and now you want to assign the value right here. It's never going to allow you when we reload. Can you see? That is a problem you may encounter with const. And let, when you use let, when you reassign value to its variable, it's going to allow you if it's let. Can you see? We're able to, but the problem in the let aspect is that if you are trying to use let again like this, it's going to show you an error, like const also used to do. So definitely you cannot do this, unless you pick one. Just pick one, only this one. That's all. And save your document and reload, you are going to have your answer. But if you declare this variable right here with let, and you now use this let keyword again in your document along with the variable again, definitely it's showing, you are telling the JavaScript you are trying to redeclare the x variable again, and it's never going to allow you. When I save my document now, when I reload, can you see? It's a problem. So you have to know that the only time you can specify a value to it is when you delete the let keyword. When I delete the let keyword, can you see now? But var works different ways. Var is when you specify a value to var like this, and you save your document, you can do anyhow you want to it. Can you see? We are seeing the value. Even you can even use var again like this, and still the value is still going to display. Can you see? No any problem with our var, because var works. We can redeclare the var variables anywhere we want. So you have to be aware of all those stuff that I show you guys, because it's very good when you understand this deeply. I don't want you guys to feel confused when I'm doing something. That's why I'm doing on it. So if you notice the way I fix the error one by one, I come to this place, I change the things that I need to change. When I confirm that I've already confirmed that this is working, then I check the error right here. I don't need to stress myself. The 2 ways you can understand how your variable works is check your error right from here, and also check your syntax error right here. So to output the variable is when I do like this, and I specify I call the x. As you can see, to output a variable, I call the x without any apostrophe. If I do like this, definitely it's not going to display this value. When I reload, can you see? I'm just saying x, the x that I wrote here. But if I remove all these double quotes, when I reload now, it's going to display my variable value. Can you see that is 6, the 6 right here. So you guys will be aware of that. So let me get back to the documentations. If you notice very well, everything we have to know about inside these variables and all that I've discussed about in a brief way. So let's read and see what we got here. So when to use JavaScript, I've discussed about it. When to use const is I've discussed about this also. Is if you want a general rule. One thing again I want you to note about const variable that works differently is that, let's say const is right here. Const, you say const x is equal to 6, right? Then you now come again, you now say const x again. Definitely you are trying to redeclare, so const never allow that. Always remember that const never allow redeclaration of a variable, so you must use another. Maybe you use e. When you use e is equal to 6, you understand, is equal to, you can say x plus, you can add something to, let's say I add 2 to 6. I had 2 to 6. As you can see, I had 2 to 6. Let me call this y. You understand? You can do like this, and it's going to let me display y. Yes, and your thing is going to work fine. Can you see now I'm having 8? But the problem can occur when you do like this. When you reassign this x value right here, you are assigning it right here. Definitely you are trying to redeclare x, which is never going to work. When we are trying to output x in that manner again, you delete y, you are not trying to reassign. The reassignment of a variable, const never allow that. Can you see? So you have to be very active and be aware. But you can plus another variable's value. Let's say we assign y to this one now. You now say y is equal to 2. Understand? You now say const again, say const z is equal to x plus y. You understand? We can do like this, and it's still going to work, because we are just trying to add all these things to another variable entirely. It's not this variable that we have already declared. We are not redeclaring a variable. Notice very well, this is a separate variable, this is another name, this is another name. You understand? There are different types of variables, so we redeclare them. We don't redeclare a variable when you are using const. So when I want to output my value, I can use z to output my value. I paste z right here, and I save my document. So you are going to see that everything is working fine. Let's reload. Can you see now I'm having 8 right here? So you guys should be aware of that. If not, you understand, let's say for instance now you want to use let like this also. Let also can work this way. Let, you understand? I see let. When I do like this, can you see? When I save my document, the let also work fine. You understand? But the main problem that can occur is when you assign this same value like x again, you call it here, it's going to be an error. Can you see? Can you see? So redeclaring of a variable never allowed in the let and const and var. But var, you can redeclare their variable. If all these are var, and you now do like this x, you understand, it's still going to work. When I save my document now, when I say x plus x, but it's going to be a problem in some ways. Your code can look somehow. You can have an error because it's not. Can you see? This is 4 we are having right here now. Can you see? We don't know what it did. Definitely it's trying to minus 2 from 6 right here. You understand? That's what is going on right here now. So you should be aware of that. So not to get yourself confused, it's better when you assign different variables to everything. Let's say this one is x, this one is y, this one is z. You understand? You can call z and everything is working fine. You can just plus this one with y, you understand, and save it, and everything is going to look like you expected. This is 8, you understand? 6, 7, 8. So my own advice is that give your variables different names and never reassign that variable again throughout the code. or else you want to call it. If you want to call it, you can call it, but declaration or not declaration, never redeclare a variable, so that you don't have a problem with variables. That's the variable rules and regulations in JavaScript. If you don't know, that's what I'm showing you guys right now. So, and just like algebra equation, all this I've discussed about this. JavaScript identifier, I've discussed about this in the previous chapter. I've discussed about this also. The previous chapter, you can check about it. Data types, I've discussed about data types. We have different types of data types. We have this one is called literal data type. Decimal point, as you can see, the decimal value is a literal decimal value, and this one is a string value. And if you want to just have normal number value, you can just remove the decimal out of it and just have the 3. That is number value. You should understand that by now. So declaring a JavaScript variable, you can declare a variable in this way, like I told you earlier. As you can see, but redeclaration of a variable doesn't allow in let and const, but in var you can redeclare a variable. As you can see, you can reassign a value. You can reassign a value to let, but you must not use this let keyword again, like I told you previously. But you can reassign value to it when you use only the variable. So like I told you earlier, in the example below, we create a variable called can assign vovo to it and all that. We have discussed about all this previously. So let a group programming practice to declare all variables at the beginning of a script. So to declare your variables at the beginning of your script, make sure you declare all the variables first, then you get going. You understand? Let's say you want to declare multiple variable, you can just use let. You understand? Just do like this. Let x is equal to, you understand, 2, comma, y is equal to 3, comma, z is equal to x plus y. You can close the chapter by using this sign. So when we close it, when we reload, can you see we are having 5, the answer to 2 plus 3 plus 2. You understand? Like 3 plus 2 right here. And you can turn it to 2 statements. Just close one statement right here and do like this, and the same thing is going to happen. Can you see when I reload? So but if you do like let again, you are still going to see our value because we do it in the right way. But if by mistakenly this x we are having at the top right here, we assign it to this place again, it's going to be a problem because we are declaring the x variable, which is not allowed. So you have to be aware of that. We can use const, even we can use const right here, it doesn't matter. We can use const and we call it. Can you see? No any problem with our document. So we can use var also. So you should be aware of that. One statement, many variables is the one I told you about, like person is equal to this, car name is equal to this, price is equal to this, by using the let. When you are using the let, you can do that. When we call something undefined variable is like you are having a form input. In computer programs, variables are often declared without a value. The value can be something that has to be calculated or something that will be provided later, like user input. So like now, let's say inside my document right here now, you can declare a variable in this way. You understand? We're having 2 variables right here, 1, 2. By declaring double variable in let, you must use comma. You understand? So we have declared 2 variables right here now. To call our 2 variables, we can assign value to them now by saying x is equal to 2. You understand? And close the statement. Y is equal to 3 and close the statement. When we save our document and reload, everything is going to fine. Can you see? But the problem may occur when we do like this, let x again. It's going to be a problem, okay, because we have already declared the variable right here. Even when we say let y again, it's going to be a problem because we have already declared it. But in this way, The other way we can do it is not to declare the variable, so that everything can look nice, because if you try that, your code is going to have an error. So that's what we are talking about. So, and again, the declare variable, we have been discussing about this for a while now. Only the var allow you to redeclare the variable. So arithmetic, you can do arithmetic operations also, but concatenate arithmetic by adding a variable. I've told you earlier, 2 plus 3 is 5. That's why this variable plus this variable is equal to this variable. Understand? That's why we are having 5. But if you by mistakenly had something like a string at the beginning of this place, now when we say 4, then we add 4 here. Now you now say 4 plus, you understand, it's going to display all this one like 4 2 3. That's what you are going to see, 4 2 3. When I display now, can you see 4 2 3? Because we have begin this thing with a string, and a string is just going to display like a text, So but if you carry this one now, this text now, you delete all this one, you calculate this 2 plus 3 first, then you now do plus. Definitely you are trying to concatenate, you now put the string right here. Definitely you are going to see 5 4. You understand? That is 2 plus 3, like 2 plus 3 concatenate with 4. That is what you are seeing right here, because we are using string with number. When I reload now, can you see 54? When I change this value right here again to maybe 58, you are going to see 2 plus 3, which is 5 concatenate with 8, that is 58. When I reload now, can you see that is 58? So be aware of that also. That is concatenation for you. Arithmetic, how you can use your arithmetic and the concatenate together, that's what I'm showing you. So, and if you want to call double names together, like let's say for instance now you change this one to a name, let's say anwar, turn it to string, akorede, let me use ayofe, anwar ayofe. When I use anwar ayofe right here, I want to call this and this together. Because I've used plus sign, it should display anwar plus anwar ayofe 8. That's what you should see. But let me give it a space right here so you guys can see, because we are already concatenating it. Can you see anwar ayofe space that I gave it right here is the one you are seeing from here. So when I give this one also a space, you are going to see when I reload, can you see concatenations happens within the text by using this plus sign. To join text together, you can use plus signs. You understand? To join what? Strings together, you can use. So you can use that. So that's what we are saying. And again, not to take much of our time, I think we have covered a lot. We have talked about it. If you put a number in quote with, I've discussed about this also, and I've discussed about this also, dollar sign. You can use dollar sign as your variable name or whatsoever. You can use this one now, this x right here can turn into $x, and this one can become $x, and right here you must use $x. But when I reload, can you see our thing is still functioning well? But the funniest part is that if you by mistakenly use number here, it's going to be a problem. That is an error. You must not do that. Can you see? It's an error. So you have to know what you are doing. So if you want to assign anything, you don't just declare number like this, let 1. You understand? If you declare a number like that, can you see it's never going to work? Can you see this one? It's an error. It's never going to work. So you should be aware of that also. So let's get going gradually. You can use underscore. So underscore also is also allowed. You can use underscore something, like when you want to declare a variable, you can just use underscore something. You understand? Underscore something, and still your code is going to work fine. When I reload, can you see? So let me just remove this H right here. I don't want the code to look somehow. So as you can see, everything is working like we expected. You can use underscore. So they say using the underscore is not very common in JavaScript, but a convention among professional programmers is to use it as an alias for private hidden variables. That's when we use this. So I think I've covered everything you have to know about these JavaScript variables. I want you guys to please practice, because practice makes perfect. I don't want to take much of our time in JavaScript stuff. That's why I'm trying to cover everything at once. Anwar Akorede Ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Peace and love. Have a great day. Thank you so much. And to the next. Bye.